Hell Let Loose is one of the most iconic games ever made, and while it has great mechanics and amazing visuals, there are core issues and things that you must know before you buy it. The game takes place on large, historically accurate battlefields across Europe. This could be in Normandy, the Eastern Front, and other iconic locations. And you play as a soldier in the most intense and realistic battles with up to 100 players in every match. The main goal is not just an FPS, it is to work together and capture and hold strategic points on the map. You must therefore also communicate and coordinate with your team in order to control these points, have supply lines and resources which are crucial for victory. That means that the game emphasizes teamwork, strategy, and a lot of realism, and you take on various roles as infantry, tank crew, or even an officer, and every role with very specific duties and responsibilities. Winning requires good communication, strategic planning, and cooperation amongst your entire team. But Hell Let Loose is one of the most immersive and intense World War II experiences you will ever have. Now, in terms of the main gameplay, it is all about large-scale team-based battles. So imagine this: you join a match as an officer. Your role is then to lead your own squad, but also coordinate with other squads to capture and hold objectives. You might start by placing an outpost near the front lines, and as the battle progresses, you'll coordinate with the commander and other officers to launch an assault on an enemy-held point. You can call in artillery support, mark the enemy positions, and lead your squad in a coordinated attack at once. What you'll see is that Hell Let Loose has very basic mechanics like running, shooting, capturing points, but once you start learning the mechanics, you notice that the gameplay is much deeper, and there's various tools and systems that are crucial. Number one, the communication. The in-game voice and the command channels allows for coordinated attacks and tactics, making teamwork essential. What you'll also notice is that the game has a resource and logistics system, so resources like manpower, munitions, and fuel are generated by controlling specific zones on the map. These resources are then used to build structures, call in support like bombing runs and supply drops, and it is crucial how you manage these resources, as they play a big part in winning or losing. But we'll get much further into that later on. In Hell Let Loose, there's also a progression system on two fronts. You have the progression of every match and how it unfolds, but you also have your own individual play progression. So early on, you might select a basic role like a rifleman or a medic, which are easier to learn and allows you to get comfortable with the game's mechanics. But as you gain experience and rank up, you unlock more specialized roles. This could be an officer, an engineer, or even tank crew. And these roles offer much more complex responsibilities and tools. This could be placing your spawn points, building structures, or operating vehicles. Now, I want to dive deeper into some of the most unique and best features of the game. So the first one is the big focus on realism and historical accuracy. If you love history and World War II, you'll love how detailed this recreation is, both in terms of the battlefields, but also the very historical accurate weapons, vehicles, and uniforms. Another standout feature is the teamwork and communication. So as we talked about earlier, every squad has their own officer, but what I didn't tell you is how the game is structured around a chain of command. So each team is divided into squads, each of them led by a squad leader. These leaders must then communicate with a commander who oversees the team's overall strategy. So the squad leader can place outposts and garrisons that act as spawn points for the squad but also the entire team, which are crucial for maintaining a front line and to quickly reinforce certain positions. However, the commander role is crucial, as you are the one to manage the resources, call in artillery strikes, and coordinate the team's overall efforts. What truly sets the game apart from others in the genre is the blend of large-scale battles with a deep emphasis on strategy and coordination. So unlike most FPS games that have a big focus on individual skill, this is much more about teamwork and tactical planning. Furthermore, the need for careful coordination, strategic resource management, and effective communication makes the game a true standout. So as you can probably tell, that means the game is quite hard, which brings me to my next point, the difficulty. And it is tough for new players. The game does not hold your hand at all. There are no in-screen indicators for enemy positions or health bars, and the gunplay is very realistic with significant recoil and even bullet drop. This also means that you must rely on visual cues and communication in order to identify threats and objectives. If you're a new player, the game can be quite difficult to pick up, as it will require a good understanding of the game's mechanics and even teamwork. For example, a new player might spawn in and get completely lost on the map, or even struggle to understand where they're supposed to go and what to do. They also might not realize the importance of sticking with your squad and using cover effectively, which can lead to very quick deaths. I would therefore say that the game caters more to the hardcore player who enjoys more realistic and strategic gameplay. It is not very casual friendly, primarily due to the steep learning curve, but also the need for communication and coordination. However, the community is incredibly friendly and are always willing to help newcomers learn the ropes. Furthermore, as you can probably tell by this video, the game has highly detailed and realistic graphics that really depict World War II battlefields. The environments are well crafted, with everything from the terrain to the buildings and even the foliage looking quite authentic. aesthetic. Furthermore, the character models and the vehicles are also designed to great detail, really adding to the overall realism. That is not all. The sound design is equally as impressive, with very realistic weapon sounds, explosions, and even the ambient noises that make you feel like you're truly in the middle of a battlefield. It is this combination of realistic graphics and sound effects that create a highly immersive atmosphere. Furthermore, the game's attention to detail in recreating historical battlefields and its use of ambient sound contributes significantly to make you feel like you're actually experiencing a World War II battle. And it is this overall atmosphere that is tense and authentic, making every moment in the game feel very intense and engaging, really drawing you into the gritty and chaotic reality of World War II combat. And it's hands down one of the best atmospheres in any game that I've ever seen. That being said, the game is not perfect, so let's go over the pros and cons. The first pro is the large scale of battles. The fact that every match can have 100 players in it provides a truly intense experience, as the big maps but also the amount of players really make the battlefield more significant and impactful. I can only imagine how funny the game would look if there was only 10 players on the map instead of 100. The next pro is the teamwork and strategy, and the game has a big focus on both of these, and is therefore a great choice for you if you enjoy teamwork but also planning for tactics. The game's structure with the roles like squad leader and commanders add a ton of depth and complexity not seen in many other FPS games. And the final pro is the realistic graphics and a very immersive sound design. The graphics are gorgeous, but not only that, they are also detailed and really enhance the immersion and make you feel like you're actually on the front lines. Then you add the highly realistic sound effects. This could be the crack of gunfire to the rumble of a tank, making the game feel unpredictable but also tense. And now for the cons. The first con has to be the steep learning curve. This game will be challenging when you first start out. The game does not hold your hand and there isn't much guidance, so you must understand that learning the mechanics and the roles will take time and patience. It is not like most other FPS games where you can pick it up and be pretty good at it within the first few hours. This might take a while. The other con is the somewhat limited game modes. So where most FPS games have many different game modes to choose from, this could be capture the point, search and destroy, etc. Hell Let Loose focuses heavily on its main mode, which I can definitely see does not offer enough variety for some players. But with all that said, let's grade the game. And Hell Let Loose gets a solid 8 out of 10 for several reasons. First, the very impressive attention to detail, the immersive gameplay, and the strong emphasis on teamwork and strategy. The game really excels in creating a realistic World War II experience with high quality graphics and really authentic sound design. Furthermore, the large scale battles with up to 100 players make every match feel quite significant. The game's commitment to realism, from the detailed environment to the authentic weapons and the vehicle handling, creates a deeply immersive atmosphere that draws you into the game world. However, the game is not perfect and there are several drawbacks. First, you have the steep learning curve and the lack of handholding, which will be challenging for new players. Furthermore, the need for communication and coordination can also be quite intimidating for the casual player. However, if you are a fan of realistic military shooters, and if you enjoy working as part of a team and engaging in very strategic gameplay, then Hell Let Loose is absolutely worth your time and money. For more amazing games, click here.